What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope everyone's doing well as always. As you can see by the title of this video, this has been my final day League 2 predictions. Of course, still plenty of madness to be seen and still plenty of teams fighting for that last automatic spot. Teams fighting to get in the playoffs or stay there, and also still waiting for the winners to be announced as well. So plenty of madness still yet to be seen. Of course, if you do enjoy the video, do smash a like on it, would be really appreciated. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you think I'm being too biased or you don't agree with my predictions, then get all yours down below. I want to see how you think everyone's going to get on the final day. And yeah, starting off with Barrow versus Northampton. As we know already, Barrow are safe. They'll be happy with another decent season, especially their budget, etc. And also Northampton are fighting for something. They want to get that last automatic spot. Barrow have won their last 2 home games as well, quite convincingly against Forest Green 4-0 and beaten Sutton 1-0, whereas Northampton have been on pretty decent form, scoring quite a few goals in their last couple of games. But I think it's a tough one. I think Barrow will want to end the season on a high, and of course Northampton will want to get automatics as well. But for me, call me biased, but I'm going for Barrow 1, Northampton 1. The next one is Bradford and Carlisle. 1 in 14th being Bradford, Carlisle in 18th. Of course, nothing to play for, but Bradford and Carlisle will both want to win, finish the season on a high. Of course, Bradford are at home, expecting a very high crowd again. For me, I'm going to go Bradford City 3, Carlisle United 1. The next one is a massive game for, of course, my team. Bristol Rovers are at home versus Scunthorpe. Of course, Rovers and Northampton both on the same points. As we know, Northampton have got a 5 goal difference better than us. But for me, I'm very, very confident, especially if Scunny play the exact same team as they did against Hartlepool with a lot of young players, 16, 17-year-old. And, we've been on very good home form, hoping to make it 13 home games unbeaten. And of course, finish the season on a high by getting the last automatic spot. Call me stupid, call me biased or whatever, but I'm going to go with Bristol Rovers 7, Scunthorpe 0. The next one is another big one, of course, Exeter versus Port Vale. Exeter currently in first, 1 point ahead of Forest Green. Port Vale are in 6th, still fighting to win the league and to get automatics as well if other teams go Port Vale's way. Of course, Exeter and Port Vale, well, Exeter have been on the best form, of course. Port Vale have lost their last 3 games in a row at the wrong stage of this season. For me, I think Exeter will win the league. I still think Port Vale will finish in the playoffs, but I'm going to go with Exeter 2, Port Vale 1. The next one, Harriers versus Sutton United. Of course, Harriers will be in again League 2 next season. Sutton are still fighting to get into the playoffs. They've been pretty much in there for most of the season, but they're currently 8th. And for me, I actually think Harriers will win this game. And I think Sutton will finish outside the playoffs, even though they've had such a tremendous season after coming up through winning the National League. I'm going to go Harriers 2, Sutton United 1. The next one is Hartlepool versus Colchester. 2 teams that are secure and safe for another season in League 2. Hartlepool at home and Colchester a visiting team. And I'm going to go for a Hartlepool win. I'm going to go Hartlepool 2, Colchester 1. The next one is Leyton Orient versus Tranmere. Of course, both teams mix of season. Of course, Leyton Orient were in the top 3 for the first part of the season, but then have, of course, had a massive drop-off, where Tranmere as well, they've been in there most of the season, but especially the second half of the season, they've failed to get into the playoffs and won't be in the playoffs come the next week or so. But I'm going to go for an Orient at home win. I'm going to go Orient 1, Tranmere 0. The next one is Mansfield versus Forest Green. Another massive game. Mansfield in 5th, Forest Green in 2nd. But for me, this game, I think it's got a draw written all over it. I'm going to go Mansfield 2, Forest Green 2. Next one is Newport versus Rochdale. Of course, again, a very disappointing end to the season. Newport have been in the playoffs a lot of the time this season. Of course, Rochdale will be, again, mixed emotions. They'd want to get in the playoffs after coming down, but because they've lost a lot of their players in the summer, they will always, I think, we're going to sort of have a mid-table season. But for me, I think Newport will end the season on a high. I'm going to go Newport 3, Rochdale 1. Next up, Oldham versus Crawley. Of course, as we know, Oldham were officially relegated a few weeks ago. Crawley, of course, another season in League 2 for them again next year. But I'm actually going to go for an Oldham win. I think they're going to finish the season on a high. I'm going to go Oldham 1, Crawley 0. Next up is Stevenage versus Salford. Again, Stevenage will be very happy to stay in the league after being near and around those relegation spots for a lot of this season. Of course, Salford will be bitterly disappointed. It is going to be another season in League 2 for them next year. But for me, Salford are going to end the season well and get a win. I'm going to go Stevenage 0, Salford 2. And finally, my last one, Walsall at home to Swindon. Of course, Swindon are still fighting to stay in the playoffs. Walsall fans will probably be very disappointed of the way their season's gone, but I think they're going to be a lot stronger next year with a full season of Michael Flynn in charge. And of course, Swindon, very, very good form at the moment. Got McCurdy back at the right time as well. And I'm going to go for a Swindon away win. I'm going to go Walsall 1, Swindon 3. Yeah, that is going to be the end of my final day League 2 predictions. If you did enjoy, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Do you agree with my score predictions? Let me know all yours in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.